Welcome, loves, to my YouTube channel. My name is VassaOlga. In today's video, we're going to be doing this really simple makeup look. We're going to be focusing on my foundation specifically. I'm going to lead you through all the steps from hydration, foundation, lips, eyes, brows, everything you need to know if you're a beginner. So if you've never touched makeup products in your life, or you did maybe a couple of times, just used a little bit of mascara, I got you covered because we're going to be discussing everything in detail and small details. So if you have no idea what makeup is, I'm going to show you why it is. Guys, the first step you need to remember every single time you need to hydrate your skin pretty well before you do makeup. If you have oily skin, dry skin, normal skin, it doesn't really matter. Just pick some products that are going to work with your skin type. At first, I'm using a toner. This one is a Korean brand, as well as a sun cream. Again, Korean brand. And make sure this sun cream is not going to leave any white balls on top of your face because it's going to ruin your makeup eventually. Then with my Nivea aftershave lotion, I'm going to complete my hydration and move to my makeup. Let's talk about some essential products. At first, need some wipes and beauty blender. On the left is rinsed with water, damp beauty blender. On the right is completely dry. You need a rinsed wet beauty blender to work with. And then we have some brushes. I have foundation brush. It is completely flat. Then a fluffy brush. We're going to be working with fluffy brushes today. Then this is a powder brush. And the final one is an angle for blushes. Let's wipe off any leftovers of my color from my brush and then move to my foundations. The first one is a stick foundation. It is full coverage and it might look a little bit oily at the end of the day. Keep it in mind. With La Roche-Posay, it is more matte formula. I really like it, but it is a little bit more yellow. So I'm going to fix this problem later. And finally, tinted hydrator from Wet n Wild. This is not a full coverage foundation. It's more like tinted cream on top of your face. I prefer tinted cream with Wet n Wild, but you can choose any foundation you prefer. As a beginner, I would recommend a hydrator. In case your foundation is super yellow, add a little bit of purple on top of your face with a foundation brush. And if you need olive undertone, because you have olive undertone skin tone, add green from the same corrector palette. My hydrator, I'm placing on the back of the hand. This way it's going to give me a better distribution with a brush. I would highly recommend use brush first, and it's not going to give you that much coverage but look really pretty and well blended at the end of the day and take off any discoloration. Every product, creams and powders, take off on the back of the hand first and then apply this to your face. Personally, I love using bronzer on top of my foundation instead of contour. Bronzer is a warm brown shade instead of cool tone browns, and make sure that you're bringing this a little bit higher than the actual shade of your cheekbone. And then we're going to contour this with a concealer. There are going to be numerous concealers on the market. It can be full coverage or liquid formulas. I love liquid formulas instead of full coverage. You can tell that e.l.f. is super thick and it's going to get into your fine lines, wrinkles immediately. With such formulas as L.A.Girl and Sephora, you're going to avoid this problem. As well as undertone, it's really important because you can have olive undertone, neutral, cool tone, and warm undertone. Just choose wisely. Maybe ask a consultant which formula you need. When my cream formulas are all on, I use my beauty blender, DM beauty blender on top, but for the under eye area, I will use my finger. It's going to give me a little bit different effect, but you can use beauty blender as well. If you need to color correct and you have a lot of blue underneath your eyes, use peachy shade from the same corrector palette. I skip it because I don't have a lot of blue underneath my eyes. I guess it's time to set everything in place. You can go with a fluffy brush, my personal recommendation, or a triangular puff. For the whole face, I'm using my setting powder. This is a pressing powder, not a loose one. I prefer that much better, but you can go with a loose powder. And for the under eye area, let's use triangular puff. It's going to give a little bit more coverage. Now a tricky one. I use contour, which is cool tone round, for my cheekbones and my nose contour. And of course, going with a fluffy brush. You can create it a little bit higher than your cheekbones or on top of your cheekbones, but do not really bring this lower or in between. And for my nose contour, I use an angle brush. I place it super close to my nose bridge. This way, I'm going to make sure that it's not going to look weird and crazy. By the way, it is totally optional. You can use bronzer, warm browns over your nose or on the sides of your face. But my bronzers I use for the forehead, and please pay attention that I use circular motions for the forehead and on the sides. This way you can implement color seamlessly and it's going to incorporate perfectly into your foundation. Any blush work pretty well. You can use peach colors, rose, bright pink colors, whatever you prefer the most. With an angle brush, I showed you right at the beginning of the video, I will stamp the color first and then flip my brush and blend this upwards, not downwards but upwards. Personal favorite thing to do is to add a little bit on top of my nose. And now I'm moving to my highlighter. I have 3 different options, a little bit more natural from Wet n Wild, mild frosty shade from MUA Makeup Academy, and this is a gold color. I don't really like it because the particles are a little bit bigger than I expect this to be, and that's why it looks a little bit artificial. I have specifically a highlighter brush from e.l.f. Cosmetics, placing this on top of my cheekbones, over my nose bridge, and forehead. With a little additional step, it's just my personal thing to do, especially if you have dry skin. If you have oily skin, skip the step. I have Estee Lauder loose powder with some highlighter particles, or you can use super dim highlighter from e.l.f., for example, that has no payoff, and place it all over your face. This way it's going to give you a little bit more glow to the skin, but not going to look as a beaming highlighter. Finally, I'll set my face with Essence Fix and Spray. I am generous with this product, and I always dab it with a beauty blender on top to make sure that I have no powders left on. With the same corrector palette we used right at the beginning of the video, I want to use the peachy color or pink shade and get it on top of my previous contours blushes with the same cream highlighter in the same palette. I will go on top of my previous highlighter place, and then finally add a little bit more of a dry formula highlighter. This way your skin is gonna glow like a beautiful donut. Next step is my brow pencil. I'm using Essence 05 Color Blonde to outline my natural shape and filling in with the same pencil my brow. Then with the brow mascara, this one is from Guerlain, Color 10 Light, if I'm not mistaken. I'm going to create a little bit more volume and finish with NYX Snatch Brow Pencil, Lift and Snatch Brow Pencil. This one is one of the best in the market, and I will highly recommend this product. In particular, my color is taupe. I'm going to add some random hair strokes over my brow, and this is a complete look. My eye makeup is extremely easy. At first, we need an eye primer or go with the full coverage concealers. Still, personally, I would go with eye primer. My favorite product is from NYX. From Makeup Revolution was a horrible product. Essence a great one as well. Blend this out with your own finger, and then instead of just simple random mascara, I use previous highlighter on top of my lid, and it's totally optional. Just use some shimmers. If you don't really like it, skip shimmers. Let's use my lash curler. Honestly, I don't use it much because it doesn't do anything to my lashes, but sometimes it's nice to use a curler. For my bottom lashes, let's use Essence. I love Crazy Volume Mascara. For the bottom lashes, I need a little bit of loose powder underneath, so it's going to prevent from any black marks in the future. And with waterproof mascara from the same Essence, I will coat lashes. Then go in with the same coat of mascara on top, and that is it. If you left any black marks on top of your lid, use micellar water and you're good to go. Wipe off any powder. Do not set it with any setting spray. And let's move to my last but not least step, lips. I use concealer type lipstick. This is super soft shade. And with a tinted lip gloss, this one is extremely bright. A mix of both of the shades giving you the most natural lip combination. I will finish and top everything with Essence Lip Oil. This is totally optional, but extremely simple makeup look. Okay guys, and this is the final result. I hope you love it. I try to keep my eyes as simple as possible because, well, if you're a subscriber, you know that I do a lot of crazy makeup vlogs. But today is a simplicity mode, and that is the main reason why I was thinking to create something for beginners. I know that it's really hard if you have no idea where to start, what to grab, which eyeshadows, or which products to use. That's why I try to explain everything in detail. I believe it was more or less helpful. Love you all so much, and I'm going to see you in my next video. Bye bye.